Ah, there you are. Welcome. This is MetalCanyon, second part of episode 1 of Questions and Answers. Man, I gotta get some better titles for this. Yeah, we had so many questions that we'll have to have several episodes. So anyway, here we go. Without further ado, let's go to the first questions of the second part. Carlos Reaper R. Q&A. Would you consider doing a fantasy-style turn-based game next? Like Fire Emblem or Final Fantasy Tactics? Well, probably not. I do like turn-based games, whether they're fantasy, sci-fi, or whatever, but I never played Fire Emblem, and I don't really much care for Final Fantasy, because I'm not really a fan of JRPGs, so Japanese-style stuff, not really a fan, unfortunately. Sorry. Victor Surovov is saying, how did you decide to LP in English? Was it about audience size or there was another reason to it? Well, I don't know. It wasn't really an audience size. I didn't really think about anything regarding audience, this and that, or the future when I started Let's Playing. It was just like, yeah, this sounds cool, let's do it. And English sort of, I can't really say comes naturally to me because I obviously don't really speak it like someone, you know, who's born with it, because obviously English is not my native language, but I don't know, I just really like the English language. It's sort of nice, I like speaking with it. I sort of often also think in my mind in English, even though it's not my native language and so on. It's kind of weird, but yeah, that's that. Next, Felipe Wolf is saying, why are you such a beautiful person? No homo. I'm not really beautiful, and I don't know. Yep, moving on. Walker Ox is saying, would you ever consider bringing back your stream? Well, like I said in the previous episode, yes, I will. Sometime in the future. Possibly soon. We'll see. No promises. Lord Commissar Petit sends, since you played RPGs before and I have not seen you play this game, how would you like to do a Let's Play of The Witcher 2? It's a fairly good RPG that is interesting, created by CD Projekt Red, that I personally enjoyed for multiple playthroughs, and I thought you would enjoy it as well, if you were to play it. I do agree, Witcher 1 was fun, Witcher 2 was fun, and can't wait for Witcher 3, really. It's probably gonna be fun. As for Let's Play, not sure, possibly. I'm not sure if people would be interested in a Let's Play of Witcher 2. Well, we've got one here, Lord Commissar Petit, there we go. Next, Bakula. Are you ever going to play a completely garbage game if someone gives it to you? And if it has levels or a story, will you play it to the very end? Bakula, you're in luck. Go to my playlists and find Let's Play the Ride to Hell Retribution. You will tear your hair out. I know I did. I played that abomination from start to end, and I believe I lost as many years of life as there are episodes. So, good luck. Enjoy. George Mellons is saying, hey MC, thanks for sharing all your vids with us. ... So first off, what was your #1 favorite LP you did? That's actually quite a difficult questions. Quite a difficult question. I'm not entirely sure. I think the New Firaxis Enemy Unknown or Enemy Within has to come quite close to it. It was really enjoyable making that LP. But then, so was Fallout 2. That was really something I enjoyed as well. I'm not saying that I don't enjoy other Let's Plays, it's just that those are one of my favorites. Also, Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis, awesome, even though that's a really, really old Let's Play. And XCOM Apocalypse, and so on and so forth. I could just go on and on about it. Wouldn't be fair, would it? Because you asked for one. I can't really give you a proper answer. Wow, I just wasted so much time. Also, would you consider doing a LP of Jedi Knight 2 or even Jedi Academy? That would be pretty cool. Or both. I love Jedi Knight 2, and I also quite like Jedi Academy. Possibly. I did it on live streams a bit, and I might do an actual LP of it. Why not? Unfortunately, all of these games obviously contain Star Wars or Star Warsy music. which, well, as you know, YouTube is quite, well, not nice about that. As for the rant upon developers and their various DRM, yes, it is a huge amount of BS. GTA 4 was the worst on Steam. You had to not only have Steam running, but also games for Windows Live and Rockstar Social Club. Bloody hell, seriously? I know they have Rockstar Social Club, which pisses me off, but Windows Live and Steam? Holy crap. Well, there you go, buyer beware. All in all, it comes down to major developers being paranoid, greedy turd wagons. I guess. They fail to realize that trying to fight software piracy is like trying to breathe in space, and by putting more and more measures into preventing it is just going to encourage more people to pirate their games. On that note, all I can say is praise be to GOG.com. I agree there. GOG is doing a damn good job. George Balance also said, oh yeah, and reading down at some of the comments, specifically to one mentioning Jagged Alliance 2. Have you ever thought about doing a LP of it or JA Back in Action? I have. I do actually own Back in Action, even though apparently they're saying it's not nearly as good as the original. So possibly it's a turn-based game, I believe. So why not? We'll see. Tamarin Star Shadow is saying, we've had plenty of XCOM content from you so far. Maybe try Jagged Alliance 2, that mod everyone talks about. And yeah, launchers are bullshit. I don't mind launchers that only patch files like War Thunder and PlanetSide that update my game and don't try to sell me anything. I don't mind Steam because it actually adds functionality to my gaming. I can get into a L4D2 versus match with 7 other friends in about 10 seconds with one click. I don't need other storefronts. See, I completely agree there. But of course we have to take a look from the, other companies' perspectives. They also want to give you functionality and storefronts, their own. But obviously, I mean, Steam is so big, I don't really know how they can do it, except by, stuff like Origin, where they exclusively have stuff on Origin, which is just gonna get more people to pirate their games, of course. Oh well. Louis Leon 07 said, question. What's your thought on Xenonaut XNT Into the Darkness mod? Well, not much of a thought on that, because I haven't really looked into it yet. I have noticed quite several people telling me about that mod, so might have to look into that sooner or later. Tyler Bellflower said, are you gonna do a Fallout 3 or New Vegas playthrough? I've been asked that so many times, and the answer is still, I don't know, not sure. Fallout 3 and New Vegas are pretty huge games. I mean, I've played Fallout 3 when it came out, quite an enjoyable game, even though, well, obviously Bethesda stuff like horrible voice acting. New Vegas was a lot more enjoyable for me. But again, it's a pretty huge game, and I don't know if you'd want to watch episode 634, Killing Another Deathclaw. Yeah, not sure. We'll see. Moving on, a few other people have wanted me to do more co-ops. The answer is yes, I will do more co-ops. Next, Thurquar. What will happen if Pinocchio says, my nose will grow now? You shouldn't have asked that question, because the time paradox vortex will now destroy the universe! Inverted the polarity at the last second. Bloody hell. Let's move on. Kane's Corner. Okay, questions. Tech question. What software do you use for recording and editing? Any reason those stand out to you? I will probably talk about that in my behind-the-scenes Patreon videos on my Patreon page, so check them out there. Game question. How about doing a long Let's Play of Baldur's Gate 1 and 2? I can strongly recommend the Enhanced Edition as someone who played the originals and owned them on GOG, and then bought the enhanced versions. Well, I loved Baldur's Gate 2 to bits. I really loved that game, but as you said, it would be a long Let's Play. I don't really think people would stay for that long, because that is even bigger than the Fallout games. Fallout 3 in New Vegas, I think. I mean, that is just... There's so much to do. It's ludicrous. Ludicrous. And being an old game with loads of text and not a lot of flashy combat, I don't think it would be that enjoyable for people. But hey, you know, maybe sometime in the future. Probably not, though. Next, Gagder Nixon said, "Hey, MC! Thank you for letting me be your henchman in Xenonauts. It would be so lovely if you consider playing Incubation. I only can recommend it. Or if YouTube videos do not sustain your lifetime, what occupation do you pursue? Oh, and how many hours per day do you game in a week?" Well, I don't really know Incubation. Sounds familiar, but no, can't really remember what game that is. I'll have to look that up. Does YouTube, if YouTube does not sustain my lifestyle, what occupation do I pursue? Well, it's technical occupations, sort of. Technical, artistic, I guess you could say. Yeah, I often joked, especially in the streams, that I work as a prostitute and as a taxi driver. Not really sure if those count as technical and artistic, but hey, perhaps. How many hours per day do you game in a week? Per day? Well, as many as I can, which often accounts or amounts to at least 1 hour of recording Let's Plays. Sometimes it can be 2 hours, but it is quite draining because I have other things to do as well. And then possibly 1 or 2 hours of gaming myself. But, well, more often than not, I find that I either don't have the energy, just want to relax, or I just don't have the time. So, definitely not as often as I would like, because obviously gaming is the most important thing in life. Priorities, people. Next, Andrew T. Carrot said, "Actually, nothing's changed. In old days, we searched game in various places, as many shops just didn't have that. That was terrible, but such for age. And now it's the same thing. You want to buy a specific game? You need to go to that store, not Steam where it's all games. Why? Because why not? And yeah, this is the thing that angers me so much too. It's goddamn 21st century, age of future, where man shouldn't do useless stuff as we did in old time. Yet we do so because greed never can be logical. My question is, will you marry Punch It?" Well, as far as the nothing's changed, well, it did. I mean, back in the old days, you definitely had to go to a store and buy the game, but you didn't have any of the bullshit DRM. Yes, there was a serial key, and then later on they started doing more nasty stuff, but it was just a serial key. I do have to say, I wholly prefer just, you know, going onto Steam or GOG and buying the game, playing it immediately. You know, there's no downtime where, for example, you had to go to a shop, oh, you don't have that game, I would like to order it, and then a week later get it. It's just, you know, it took forever. So now everything is instant like that. But at the same time, yeah, things did change. You didn't have the crappy DRM back then. As for, will you marry Punch It? Are you crazy? She will punch me! Fine, yeah, that's good. Nice.
Enemy target eliminated.
Shoalmesher said, "It was Defense Grid, the awakening, that made me aware of your channel. So the logical question would be, would you consider doing an LP of DG2? Yes, in fact, I'm looking into it. I really loved Defense Grid The Awakening, and yeah, I want to play Defense Grid 2 as well. So, probably the answer is yes. Colonel Cool is very cool, and he's asking, what is your educational background, i.e. subject of area of vocational or university training? If too personal, are you a foreign language teacher? That's quite interesting. Where did you get the foreign language teacher from? That's quite amusing, actually. Well, it is kind of personal, I guess. But as I sort of replied earlier, I'm sort of in the technical area and artistic, I guess you could say, jobs. And my educational background is fully technical. I used to go to computer science university for a while before I decided that, you know, actually sitting behind a computer and just coding all day long was perhaps not my life calling, and then I decided to do something else, but it's also completely technical as well, so I do enjoy that greatly. If you generally do not like these kinds of questions, here is one gaming related. Oh yeah, I have to answer the foreign language teacher. No, don't think I could really teach foreign languages, because, well, I'm not a teacher. I don't know if they actually hire any non-teachers to teach, like, English or something. Perhaps in China, maybe, because, I don't know, you just... If you know English well, you can teach some, but then again, you would need to speak Chinese as well. I'm not really sure. So no, the answer to that is no. Here is one gaming related. What is your opinion on the exploitation of, example, Kickstarter or Greenlight, where developers dump unfinished stuff but never live up to their promises? Unacceptable? Buyer beware? Related to that, since you're more an LPer and just rarely a reviewer, right? Do you consider these ethical things when thinking about LPing an alpha, beta, or is your main criterion fun? Well, the Kickstarter and Greenlight stuff, I completely agree. There should be some kind of clause that simply says, you know, if you are not delivering your promise, you need to refund. Of course, at the same time, you know, you have to realize that someone that decides to make a game and gets, like, I don't know, 200,000 euros or dollars or whatever in money, and then spends that money on trying to develop a game and fails at that, you're in a horrible rut. I mean, yes, you've gotten into that rut yourself, but you're in a horrible rut. Where are you gonna get an additional 200,000 if you've spent it all on gaming? On developing the game? Where are you gonna get that money to get to give people back? But at the same time, I completely agree that people who back projects should get their money back if they're getting nothing for it. You know, I mean, I understand that, of course, when you back something on Kickstarter, even though I think they've changed that now, I think they've done something about this, you know, there is no guarantee that the game will be finished and that you will receive your product. You are, in a way, donating money to a good cause, if you want to call it that. But yes, I agree. There should be some kind of a refund, even though technically I understand that's quite a difficult thing to do, especially if you've stopped the development because you've run out of money and you're nowhere near finished. It's pretty horrible. As for ethical things when thinking about LPing an alpha or a beta, well, there's really never such a problem. I've never really played any games that would have these ethical problems, if you want to call it that. But if there was a game that was blatantly ripping people off, I probably wouldn't play it, yeah. Probably because I would never even own it, as a matter of fact. Next! Games with Olira said, "For my question, is there a game you love to play but have never made a Let's Play for? If so, why have you chosen not to make a LP of the game?" There's quite a few games actually, and in fact I wanted to make a Let's Play of them in the past now. And games like that are Beyond Good and Evil 2, Little Big Adventure 2, and more stuff. And the problem with those games are, I just cannot figure out how to record them. One problem is that DOSBox seems to really not like my recording software and crashes often when I'm trying to do that. And Beyond Good and Evil 2 is just bizarre. It locks all the keys in, which basically means if the game does not use the keys, you cannot use the keys, which means, well, you can't even start the recording. It's absolutely bizarre. I'm not gonna go into technical details, and, you know, you can't put it into windowed and then record blah blah blah. It's just bizarre design. But yeah, those are really great games that I would love to do a Let's Play of, and I still want to do it, I just can't just yet. As for games that I'd like to see, I think having some more light-hearted games would be good. I enjoy watching you save the world from alien invasions, but I find the sillier games like Life Goes On, Octodad, Ghost Control, Visitor Cleanup Detail are often the ones I enjoy the most. Well, it's good that you enjoy everything, and I do agree, light-hearted games are nice. And in fact, well, you've pretty much said, you know, type those that I've already done, and there is indeed more Viscera Cleanup Detail coming up. So, yep, watch the channel, you will be getting more. And that pretty much concludes this part, the second part of the answers. We have more questions for next time. Thanks for watching.